Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of... What, Luna? She's just staring at me. What? What? Another episode of I Have a Lot of Needy Children. I don't want to see your butt. I will pet you, Arya, but I don't want to see your butt. I have a lot of needy children. The other one's right here. They're all on this side of the couch. There's him. Arya's right here. Luna's there. Tiffany is there. Yes, Arya. You get pets. Pets. So is this called Let's Have a Pint, or is it called I Have a Lot of Children that are needy? Anyways, today we have Backwoods Bastard from Founders Brewing Company. Well, you're okay, hurry. She just laid down. She thought she was going to be in trouble, but she wasn't doing anything to her brother, so... it is a Scotch ale, or a wee heavy. It is 11.1% alcohol by volume, 50 IBUs. It gets an average rating of 4.14. The description for the beer reads, expect lovely warm smells of single malt Scotch, oaky bourbon barrels, smoke, sweet, caramel, and roasted malts. A bit of earthy spice and a scintilla of dark fruit. It's a kickback sipper made to excite the palate. And I have a Doppelbock glass here because I feel like a Doppelbock is vaguely close to a wee heavy, right? Not that close, but the hell, I didn't have anything decent for it unless I wanted to use a pint glass. Which technically you can use a pint for anything, but I mean, this is close to a pint. Oh, did Virginia? Yeah, they did. What happened? Virginia Tech just scored again. This is done. This is Florida State's lost. You know, being down 2 scores with 5 minutes left, could come back. Being down 3 scores. It's pretty difficult to come back from, especially when you haven't seen the end zone in your own stadium yet. Oh, damn. Oh, 4. He made 4 people miss to break free. And that's all she wrote, pretty much. Still 5 minutes left to go. Alright. I am going to say now that Scotch ales are actually not one of my favorite styles. Despite loving single malt Scotch. Despite loving bourbon. I like bourbon. I love Scotch. Especially single malt, or I prefer peaty Scotch, but we had 2 fingers worth of head. It's gone away pretty rapidly. It's actually a pretty dark beer. It's definitely red. You know, you kind of see through it, but it's very, very dark. Not nearly as dark as a porter even, but it's pretty dark. Also, I hadn't used this glass in a long time, and this is vaguely close to the kind of beer you'd put in this glass. It's an Einger Celebrator glass. And that's what I don't care for about these. that sickeningly sweet caramel, and it's sickeningly sweet. It's the forefront. And that's the problem. That's really all I'm getting out of this. I just can't get past that sickeningly sweet caramel. There's a little bit of smoked flavor in there. I get a little bit of that bourbon barrel. Don't get any of the... I get none of the malted scotch. What it is if, this is the peak for the smell. You got that caramel up here. You got smoke down here. And you got, the bourbon barrel down here to make up the rest of that little bit. Everything else is caramel. And that's my issue with this. Now, some people like that. I don't mind caramel. It's just sickeningly sweet caramel. See, now, on the tongue, I get much more of that bourbon barrel. I get much more of that smoked flavor. But it's still incredibly that sweet caramel. What do they do now? They got the ball back again? Is that a pick? Yeah, it's gotta be a pick. Oh, whew, that was a hell of a pick. Where the hell did he come from? Oh, Virginia Tech is dominating Florida State. Getting no earthy spice still. Getting a little bit of dark fruit, but very little. I'd say the nose is 96%. I'd say 90% caramel. I'd say on the flavor in the taste, it's probably 85% caramel. The bourbon barrel and smoke only moves up a little bit, and we get a little bit of that dark fruit as well. But honestly, I've never really been a fan of this style. I'm not a fan of Scotch shells. I'm not a fan of wee heavies. They just do not do it for me. Now, with that said, being bipartisan, it's a very well crafted beer. It's pretty close to what it's supposed to be. The style is definitely supposed to be incredibly sweet. But I feel like you want more of that dark fruit. A lot more of that dark fruit. You still want the bourbon barrel and the smokiness to be a little bit more in the background. But I feel like you want the caramel and that dark fruit competing for that top spot. And to be honest, if they were, I'd love this beer. but there's no comparison. There's nothing anywhere close. You know, when I say that the caramel is probably 85 or 80% of the taste, I bet you the bourbon barrel, the second biggest thing, is 10% of the taste. That's a huge difference. But if you absolutely love that sickeningly sweet caramel flavor, you'll love this beer. I can't rate it for what I personally enjoy because I don't enjoy the style. But for how good it is for the style, I'm going to go with a 4% on it. Or 4%. I'm going to go with a 4%. It is way more than that. It is triple that. I'm going to go with a 4-star rating on it. Would I ever get it again? You already know. I don't like the style of beer, so I'm not going to get it again. But that's not a knock on the beer. That's just, I don't care for the style. And everybody has styles they don't care for. I don't care for Scotch wee heavies. I don't care much for barley wine. There's another one. I can't think of it offhand. In one of the beer groups I'm in, somebody asked, what's your least favorite styles? One of them I listed was barley wine. I can't remember what the other one I listed was. Reds. Reds is the other one I listed. This looks like I'm looking up at the TV, but I'm actually looking at you guys, I promise. Now I'm looking at the TV, but yeah, I do not like red ales. Anything red, I do not like. I do not like Scotch ales / wee heavies. I do not like barley wines. Now, with that said, there are reds I've enjoyed. There are barley wines I've enjoyed. There's even Scotch wee heavies I've enjoyed. But for the most part, I do not care for the styles. Oh my goodness, buddy boy! Those are my 3 styles I like the least. So, yeah, 4-star. It's honestly not a bad beer. Honestly, if you like Scotch ales, wee heavies, you are going to love this one. Me personally, I do not care for them, so I am not going to enjoy it. I shouldn't. I'm going to enjoy it to an extent, but I am not going to. I probably will try to never have this again. I say that, but you know, your tastes always change, so down the line, I might try it again, like in 10 years. Who the hell knows? I might love it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Till next time, Prost.